Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, back at it again with the white vans and the spoilers. Just kidding, I wear like some $18 off-brand crap. I can't afford fancy shoes. And also what I can't afford is Eldrazi Conscription! I told you, didn't I tell you, we're starting out strong with these high-value, rare reprints. This is only ever printed in Rise of the Eldrazi, which didn't have a terrifically high print run from what I heard. It is currently sitting at $19 retail. I expect it to drop quite a bit when this reprints, but still, I mean, it's better than a 25-cent rare by about $17.75. So it's a tribal enchantment, Eldrazi Aura. Apparently that's a thing. I've heard of tribal, I've just never heard of a subtyped aura. That's kind of weird. So it costs 8 and you enchant creature and it gets +10/+10 and has trample and annihilator too. One of the greatest mechanics ever made in the game. By the way, by great I mean terrible. So I don't know what this is in. Could be some kind of weird obscure Tron thing. Could be some kind of cheated out thing. I don't know. I mean, hey, if you end up resolving this, watch out. I mean, you could put this on some little Llanowar elves or something and just go to town. Next up, we've got Fecundity. I looked it up on dictionary.com and had the robot lady say it for me, so I know that's the way you pronounce it. So this would be a good card if it didn't affect your opponents. Whenever a creature dies, that creature's controller may draw a card. There are decks that this would go in, but it really narrows it on down. I mean, you'd have to basically just outrun them and then just not care that every time you trample past one of the creatures and it dies, they get a card out of it. I mean, if you're running Saplings or something, you'll probably just outdraw them, but it's really playing with fire. So personally, I don't like it. I think in the draft environment, it won't exactly be a first pick. So moving on, we've got fire. I don't remember the middle word, ice. Well, it's not fuse, so I'm going to say or. That's the unofficial one for the current ones, but I mean, you can only cast one or the other, so why wouldn't it be or? So this is a common, so don't get too excited about the fact that it's 35 cents, at least the Apocalypse version was. This has been printed in Commander before, some dual decks. Pretty famous card, honestly. There's a promo of it that's a whopping $2.79, so I wouldn't exactly be holding my breath for some value here. It's a good card, though, because both instant speed and with fire, you could pay 2 and deal 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. That's kind of cool. And then ice, tap target permanent, draw a card. So fantastic. I really wish this had fuse. So a really light removal that can take out 2 small creatures for 2 at instant speed, and then a tap and draw, just a cheap little cantrip. It's just nice. I mean, in the right kind of deck, it would be pretty good. Next up, a card that was printed in Eternal Masters, but is still $12, and the original from Urza's Saga is $14, and that's the only time it was ever printed besides EMA. We've got Gamble. This one's pretty wild. So for 1 as a sorcery, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, discard a card at random, then shuffle your library. Early game, it's hilarious, but you've got, we'll just say like a 1 in 5 through maybe 1 in 7 chance of discarding the card you just went to go get. And late game, it's pointless, completely pointless. But it's sort of like a crappy, unreliable tutor for 1 in not black. So, I mean, what do you want? This is as good as it's gonna get for 1 mana, trust me. And of course, the flavor text is hilarious. Stuff and sundries and munitions. Breaches, Gunner of the Belligerent. That's weird because it's an Ixalan reference, but this card is from Urza's Saga. I kind of like that, updating it to like a more recent relevant storyline. That's kind of cool. But hey, it's another basically break even. I mean, you still get a foil in the pack, so, you know, $12, hey, why not? I'm very certain it'll drop to below $12 though, very shortly. Next up, Glenn, Elendra Archmage. I'm actually noticing a trend. A lot of these are from Modern Masters 1, and by a lot I think I mean 2, but out of the number of spoilers we've seen so far, that's pretty good. MN1 had some tasty, delicious treats in it, including Glenn, Elendra Archmage. So it's a 4-cost 2/2 with flying, but you can pay 1, sacrifice it, and counter target non-creature spell, and also it has Persist. So if you thought, well, this is strictly worse than like Siren, Storm Tamer, Judge's Familiar, and Curse Catcher. I mean, 4 is a lot, but it has Persist. So when it dies, if it has no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield immediately, not even tapped, with a -1/-1 counter on it. If you can drop a +1/+1 counter on it, it obliterates the -1 counter, and then you can do this again. And yes, sacrifice means literally move it from the battlefield zone to the graveyard zone, but that is considered dying, and it says when this creature dies. So it hits the graveyard, after effect comes right back. So this is a $24 card. Hello. Get ready to see 300 plus on eBay for the pre-order price of UMA. Haven't seen a dud yet, although I assure you they're coming. There's at least one I know of. Next up, we've got a common Martyr of Sands. Believe it or not, since this was only printed in Cold Snap, it's $2.50. I would expect that to fall a bit, but still, putting money in the common slot, not bad. And if you needed this for some deck, I mean, did you really want to drop 250 on a common? Everything so far just seems like useful, drastically in need of a reprint, or valuable, or all three. So it's a pretty neat card too. It's a 1/1 for 1, and if you pay 1 colorless, you can reveal X white cards from your hand, sacrifice Martyr of Sands, and you gain 3 times X life. So let's say you just had a 3 cost, okay? Pretty typical. Pay 1, show it to the person, boom, you gain 9 life. That is crazy. If you're wondering why it's $2.50, it's cause that's insane. This is going straight into my commander deck. I've got some 5/6 cost in there. Next up, a hugely popular card. I got amped when I saw this because it hasn't been printed since Invasion. It is currently sitting at $60, and I honestly don't think this will fall a whole lot because everybody needs one of these for a whole bunch of different decks. So you drop it in for 3 and it's artifact, sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I'm going to say to your mana pool even if they don't feel like it. I don't even have to say what this is good in. Decks that need mana and use creatures. How about that? So $60 in the rare slot. I told you this is going to be an expensive set. Next up we've got Squee, Goblin Nabob, which was of course Mark Rosewater's preview card. He's just an absolute classic character from like the Dominaria Weatherlight kind of storyline, I guess. This is another Modern Masters 1 card, and before that it was in 10th edition and Mercadian Masks. Cheapest version is MM1, and it's sitting at $4, so not a great rare, not complete trash, but I think this will get devalued pretty darn hard. Honestly, the new version of Squee is better, and he's only 25 cents. So this one is a 1/1 for 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return Squee from your graveyard to your hand, but if he gets exiled, oh well. So it's kind of cool. I mean, it's not amazing. Like, the new one's not amazing either. It's just very obnoxious. So you can do some loopy stuff with it, but you have to wait until your upkeep and, can't really go infinite with it. I don't know. It's only a 1/1. Unless you need a recurring death trigger, there's not a whole lot else to use this for. I mean, I guess like Goblin ETB triggers, maybe. But it's still a neat card and it's not 25 cents, so hey. Now this next card, I swore this was in like Eldritch Moon or something. I guess the only time this has been printed was Avacyn Restored. I don't know, must have been his cousin or something. Even the artwork looks familiar, but this thing's crazy. It's a 4/3 for 1. When it enters the battlefield, any opponent may have it deal 4 damage to them. If a player does, sacrifice it. So if you think you can kill it or stop it, you leave it in play and don't have it deal 4 damage to them, and then it doesn't get sacked. If you don't think you can stop it and it's just going to be swing away for the next 2 turns and you're going to get hit at least once, well, might as well pay the 4 life. So this is basically a 4 damage spell for 1 red. And even if it's not, it's basically removal because they're going to have to chump block it with something probably. And even then, will it survive? It might. So I absolutely hate this card, and it's sitting at $16. So apparently some other people hate this card too. This is in basically any kind of red damage rush deck, and yeah, universally despised by just about everybody. But it's money, more money in the rare slot. And finally, the last one that we know about so far is Wall of Reverence, which looks like a ghost setting up tents. I don't really see the wall, but I'll take the word for it. So this is from way back in Conflux, and it was printed in Commander 2013, believe it or not. So unfortunately, that brought it down to about $4.50. Not the best rare, but still an improvement on 25 cents. I mean, if you pull a, I don't know, $7 foil, okay. And remember, you could get some value even out of the uncommon in the pack, so you never know. So this is a 4-cost 1/6 defender wall, pretty typical. Also a spirit in case you got something going on there. And at the beginning of your end step, you may gain life equal to the power of target creature you control. If you've got some offense and some defense going, why not? Now 1/6 is infinitely better than a 0/6 because now you can actually do some damage to something that you block, which means instead of just, oh, I'll overswing and slam, one of my creatures into a 0/6, who cares? Now they might lose it, especially if anything they're swinging with has 1 toughness. So that's all we know for now. I've got an appointment after work today, so I thought I'd just make this early. I would expect more of these to come out by later today, though, and next couple days, too. So as soon as we have a full list, I will make a full effective value or average value per box spreadsheet. And if it isn't above $400, I will legally change my name to Mark Rosewater because I'm that confident. Seriously, this set looks hot. It looks really damn hot so far. But then again, we've only seen, 50 cards out of it? They could be showing the good stuff up front, but I don't really see a point to that because like the pre-orders were already going on for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And within probably 2 days, we're going to have a full list of every card. So what's the point? So I think it's going to continue on this path. I mean, guys, there's a $60 card in the damn rare slot. I mean, what else do you want? So definitely hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss the rest of these spoilers. I don't even know why I said if. Of course you don't. I am amped as hell, mostly because my entire order of a buttload of boxes was filled in its entirety. I have been assured that I am getting the amount that I requested, which is shocking because it was a lot. But from what I heard from my distributor, stores aren't touching this. Like a lot of typical retail places that order typical retail amounts are just like, I don't know, give me like 3 boxes because they just don't think it will sell to walk-in customers. It's too expensive. But people who sell singles or anything else, big online unboxers, any of them, they're ordering like double. So it's being shifted that direction. You may have noticed that's in line with what I said. This set was for the singles market and single seller. It's not for random walk-ins, casual buyers, people at F&M, stores. It's just to flood the market with these reprints that are badly needed and for Wizards to rake in some money for it while also benefiting the customers by making Commander, Modern, Legacy, and Vintage cheaper because all these cards are going to get like slashed significantly when they get reprinted. Everybody wins, and in case you still aren't getting the math of it, the effective value of one of the blue packs is just under $100. So let's just say 100 flat. So they added that, so let's just take that out so it's apples to apples. Oh, it's $235 a box, $4 cheaper than it was with the other Masters set. They actually printed this for cheaper. The price of Ultimate Masters went down, everybody. Don't listen to anybody else talking out their ass about, oh, it went up 40%. That's a fantasy number. It doesn't even reflect reality. Not even close. Walmart's price on 3 of them went up. Who cares? I don't buy stuff at Walmart. Screw them. If your store insists on selling these for $13.99 a piece loose, then they're assholes. I'm sure the price will go down when they move approximately none of them at that price. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more crazy spoilers, and I will see you guys next video.